This is my summary of the Saturday afternoon session for April of 2024. David A. Bednar. We can achieve an inner spiritual stillness of the soul. The Lord's admonition to be still means that we should rely on Him at all times. We should focus on the Savior unfailingly. And we should build our foundation on Jesus Christ. We need to remember to keep the Sabbath day holy and go to church and take the sacrament. We should also go to the temple frequently. Our homes should be the ultimate combination of sacred time and holy place. Going to church doesn't really help unless we maintain the same attitude all week. Massimo Defoe. Living the gospel of Jesus Christ does not remove hardships or pains. We must remain faithful to Jesus Christ, the church, and our covenants. There are many voices today trying to lure us away and silence us as disciples of Jesus Christ. And so we need to declare our testimonies louder. Don't make excuses and feel sorry for yourself. It is never a good excuse to say, I am who I am and I cannot change. Don't make excuses to not follow Jesus Christ. And of course, by Jesus Christ, I mean the church leaders. Brent H. Nielsen. I once worked as a lawyer and learned that credible witnesses are super important. Also, you should do your family history work. Millions of names are added to Family Search each day. The Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints is experiencing tremendous growth in Africa. Jose L. Alonso. Jesus commands us to take His yoke upon us. When we keep the commandments, we will feel joy. When confronted with challenges, it's easy to focus on the difficulties. But we should instead focus on Jesus Christ. Garrett W. Gong. God reassures us that all things work together for our good. Left on our own, we may not know our own good. We become our best selves by putting off ourselves and doing what the church leaders tell us to do. Sometimes we call people who are terminally ill to fulfill callings so that we can share these stories in general conference. I mean, for their good. Go to the temple even more than you already do. Michael T. Nelson. When life and death hung in the balance, Captain Helaman led 2,000 young men to save the other army in the Book of Mormon. When life and death hung in the balance for Ruby Frankie's 12-year-old son, however, the other young men's counselor was meeting with one of the boy's abusers, and he didn't do a thing about it. But we won't talk about that. No one serving in the Lord's kingdom serves alone. It's much more effective when you indoctrinate your kids in your own home than just at church. Quentin L. Cook. Oneness is what Christ prayed for before He died, and oneness can be achieved through the atonement. The church used to follow the rule of common consent, but they don't anymore. We just pretend to. People will tell you that there's no God and no free will. But we do have free will, which is basically the same thing as having free agency. Just ignore Elder Bednar when he said we didn't actually have free agency. Choices of sin and evil lead to heartache and unhappiness. Anyone who says differently is selling something. Don't place educational pursuits and occupational pursuits above that of the family and the church. We need to include others in our circle of oneness.